Ladies and gentlemen, when you're reviewing the episodes of the Night Gallery, some episodes kind of are head scratchers, and we're going to talk about one of them. For a lot of people's head scratcher, because I believe that Jack Laird was dabbling in Satanism at the time, or was influenced by it. And this episode, which is actually doubled over with The Waiting Room, one of the best segments of the Night Gallery, this last Rites for Dead Druid is pretty freaky, and it has to do with statues which basically have a connection to bad things. Now, in this one, starring Bill Bixby, Carol Lindley, and the luminous Donna Douglas of Twilight Zone and Beverly Hillbillies fame, one of the most underrated beauties of our area. Like I said, in this one, a grotesque life-size statue wreaks havoc on a young couple's seemingly idyllic suburban life in this episode. Now, we are taking information for our podcast from the great David Jewell blog on his WordPress site. This article dates back from 2014. We're using as information because it's quite interesting. His dedication to the show is almost as good as mine. Now, in this one, friends Jenny and Mildred peruse an antique shop when Mildred spots a statue and suggests that Jenny purchase it. It's a life-size realization of an ancient man grimacing in anger or perhaps pain with a weapon. Jenny buys it, partly because she thinks it looks like Bill Bixby, Bruce, her husband. Now, for some people say there's a resemblance. I didn't see it. Now, Bruce complains to his wife about the influence of her friend Mildred, whom he finds extremely annoying. Only in Night Gallery would anybody find Mildred's character annoying. They put the statue in their backyard. That night, Bruce has a nightmare in which a statue appears in her bedroom doorway. Then when he looks away and back again, it appears closer, nearly upon him at his bed, an hallucination or reality. In the morning, he goes outside and finds foot-sized burn marks in the grass leading from the statue's supposedly immobile spot. He goes to visit the antique shop's owner, Bernstein, Ned Glass, who playing a cliche old Jewish guy, to inquire about the statue's history. Now, Bernstein tells him that after his wife departed, he discovered some paperwork on the statue suggesting that it's a Druid or pre-Druid piece depicting a sorcerer who was a particularly nasty fellow. He was allegedly a rapist, debaucher, and sacrificer of beings, both animal and human. His name? Ironically, Bruce the Black. Could he be an ancient relation of this Bruce? A mild-mannered California suburbanite lawyer? Watch and see. A few days later, Jenny has invited Mildred over for dinner. While Bruce is preparing to grill, he's alone outside with Mildred, and the two of them begin arguing after she asks him to introduce her to his ancestor. Suddenly, the fire in the grill erupts, and something seems to possess Bruce. He takes Mildred into his arms and passionately kisses her. Ooh, kinky dinky. Now, the feeling quickly passes, but Mildred lets him know that she wouldn't mind if it came again. She goes inside, and Bruce goes back to tending to the grill, disturbed by this inexplicable burst of lust for Mildred, whom he supposedly can't stand. And that's where it makes no sense. Donna Douglas, again, which is not playing Ellie Mae Clampett, looks, oh my God, she's like better than Marilyn Monroe. So the viewer can certainly understand where Bixby is coming from. Now, as he tries to focus on his evil barbecue, the neighbor's cat comes walking into his yard. In the flames of the grill, he sees a bearded version of himself in the ancient garb. Enraged, he picks up the cat, holds it over the grill's flames, and begins to lower it down when his housekeeper sees what he's doing and screams, breaking this latest spell. Now, there was complaints to NBC over the cat grilling, but then nothing ever came about it because, it's just part of the plot. Now, stunned by what he began to do, Bruce stalks off into the house. That night, he has another nightmare where the statue is not only in his room, but is verbally commanding him to kill his wife so he can be with Mildred. He comes close to carrying out this act, but fights it off and, determined to end this, marches out in the yard, grabs a mallet, and is about to smash the statue to bits when he screams and is found by his wife transformed into a statue. This one really does look like him. On the ground lies a man who resembles the original statue depiction, apparently Bruce the Black, released from his statue prison, but, of course, dead nonetheless. The next day, Mildred brings the new statue of Bruce the lawyer to Bernstein's antique shop, hoping to sell it. Bernstein remarks that's a pity she isn't selling the pair. Mildred, with a knowing smile, agrees that is indeed is a great pity. Now, for me, I didn't really get the episode, but for many, it's one of their favorites of Night Gallery. According to Mr. Jewell, it's a fine, chilling story with a strong cast, but the role of Mildred in this is frustratingly not explained, and I tend to agree. Would Donna Douglas be satanic? But in it, there's plot holes because she suggests that Jenny buy the statue and bring it home, but she seems to be pleased when Bruce wants her, and she wryly agrees that's a pity both statues can't be sold back to Bernstein. But if she is somehow the catalyst through these events, as Jewell says, it remains incredibly unclear as to what her motivations were. Again, Jenno Schwartz directed it, did a really good job because Jenno could really direct women, and Karen Lindley, beauty as well. So Bill Bixby, no matter what happened, he had the two of the most beautiful women of his era as co-stars. And Bixby once said it was one of his favorite, episodic performances of the 1970s. Now, this was written by Alan Sapinsley, loosely based on the Out of the Eons story by Hazel Held. Now again, and for me, I would give it 2.5 stars out of 4, but some people see a 3-star episode. But to see Bill Bixby in the season 3 season opener and this one together, it kind of makes a lot of sense because maybe Jack Laird was working a little bit true Bill Bixby for his satanic leanings. Now, on my site, there's many Night Gallery podcasts. I have thought about doing this podcast before, but there was a lot of people that requested it, but somehow I still don't get how the plot all works together with the Donna Douglas character. So it is what it is. Now, I would give it a second viewing. It's better if you watch it 2 or 3 times because it makes more sense. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with the Night Gallery podcast, give us a like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to share. And if you like what we're doing here and are Night Gallery fans, tell your friends. And we're trying to get through all the episodes one at a time. I think we got 60% of the episodes done. So check the other Night Gallery podcast on the channel if you like this one. Thanks for listening. Bye.